Hey, what's going on, guys? BotMentality here, back with another Bitcoin chart analysis here for you. And today is April 1st, 2018. We'll go ahead and jump into this here since we've got some action going on now. So first off, regarding the market sentiment, so we were looking pretty good for a little bit when we were right here holding these lows. Oops, I'm on Litecoin. Let me jump over to Bitcoin real quick. Yeah, we'll go to the Bitcoin hourly chart. Let's talk about the hourly. As we were holding these lows here, that channel I talked about yesterday, the day previous to that, the channel I anticipated we would form between 6750 and the highs of 7100. Turns out we did form that channel. We bounced between it a couple different times. I'll draw that channel here for you guys just so you can see. I was referring to the channel right about here in that 7100 area, and then also the low of that channel was right here. So we formed that channel. We bounced off of the 6600, bounced off of 72, bounced off 66 again, bounced off, and this time we're making higher lows. A lot of people kind of FOMO'd into this thinking we were at the bottom, which was the wrong choice, but as we rejected that. Now, if you remember yesterday, I said in my video to be careful if you're getting long here, and if so, you need to use small size because we haven't been seeing a follow through on bull breakouts, and that's exactly what happened. We rejected that 7150 area, and we pulled back from there, and now it looks like we're going to go ahead and knock out the no, we have confirmed a breakdown of this channel and that wedge that I drew yesterday. I also drew that. It developed a little bit more since that video, but I'll go ahead and draw this here for you guys. What I was really indicating was this right here, this wedge that was forming yesterday. If you remember, I drew this. Let's see. Here we go. Just connecting those lows, and as you can see, we had resistance above that line and support below it, and as we ended up resting on this line and then break through and then the retest, that was the sign to exit. That was the sign that 7,000 horizontal resistance in this case we were unable to hold that. We rejected against that, and now we dropped right back down. Now it looks like we're going to continue further to test the 65 to 6,300. So that's the market sentiment. Things turned back bearish because they failed to hold 7,000. And now it looks like we're probably going to build momentum towards the lows there of 6,000, 5,800. Regarding volume, we haven't seen too much volume today. As you can see in this bull breakout, if you don't see the volume, guys, it's just not going to happen. Things aren't just going to bounce because they're just crazy oversold. We need to see at least it won't bounce significantly, I'll say. We need to see bullish volume and a lot of it come into the market. We need new people in the market, not just shorts covering their positions temporarily. A rotation of that, and that's what we're getting, a rotation of shorts covering, and then people starting to slowly FOMO back in, people reloading their shorts, and then just go ahead and dumping it. And that's what we're seeing right now. So we still have no bullish climax here on the hourly, and definitely keep an eye out for the increase of volume when we break the 6,600 lows, which we just did. I think that this isn't over. I think on the hourly, just keep an eye on it. What I expect is we'll see a huge increase of bearish volume now that we broke the prior day's low, which I'll show you from the 30th. I'll show you on the daily chart here in a little bit. Regarding the RSI on the 1 hour, if you notice right at the top of this channel we formed here at the 7,200, 7,100 area, we actually topped out there at 60 RSI on the hourly. And if you notice, this has been a pattern I pointed out there a few videos ago, that normally we see resistance around the 60 RSI, and it's good for short entries if that aligns with previous resistance. And that's exactly what happened. We just touched the 60.5 and pulled back from there on the RSI on the chart. Right now we're sitting here at about 30 RSI. I'm really going to become interested in this once we approach the sub 23, sub 22 RSI range for a long. For if you're a short, if you were going to enter here, I don't look at small size with your risk being off the 6,700. But honestly, if you were going to enter, you needed to enter at that 60 RSI. Or like as my orders were set, even higher if we saw a significant pop, but we didn't even get that. The bears have just been too strong lately. So again, I'm looking sub 22 RSI on the hourly for longs. Let's go ahead and jump on over to the 1 day, see how this looks. One thing you'll notice right away is, just delete these lines here real quick. One thing you'll notice right away is we broke the low, pulled back. On the last video, we were looking at this candle right here to form, and I'll go ahead and Zoom this in. See here, this candle right here, that green candle, we were waiting for that to form up and hopefully become a bullish engulfing, and what we'd see is higher lows beginning to set in. That did not happen. Instead, what happened is it got shoved back down by heavy sell pressure, and now we're back down, making new lows here. It looks like from this chart, it looks like we're going to retest these lows here at 5,800. It all depends on how soon, if any news comes out in order to reverse that, etc. So keep an eye on these lows. That is a very critical point for Bitcoin now. So one thing I'd also point out here is we failed on this candle here on the 31st. We failed to close above the 7,300, which would have marked a bullish signal for us. So because once you saw we failed to do that, that was the time really to exit your longs if you're trading using the daily chart. I expect we'll see an increase of bearish volume here once we break the 6,600 to the downside, especially if we close below that. I think we're going to start hitting a lot of stops under 6,500. If we do close below that 65, I think that's going to create a lot of bearish momentum to kind of drag us downwards a little bit more, which is good if you're looking to line up your long entries like I am below the 22 RSI on Bitcoin, is really what I'm thinking. So regarding this, the RSI is currently at, let's see, 29. So what I recommend you guys do is just wait. You need to wait. I'm not interested in getting long Bitcoin on the daily chart until we're under, I'm going to say 26, 27 RSI. That should line up with this low near 5,900, 6,000, 6,100 area. That's when I'd be looking to start getting long. Looking for just a short bounce. I'm not looking for it to bounce straight back up to 12K or 11,500, but I am looking for a short-term bounce in that area. Again, the 5,800, this low right here, this is the key area for Bitcoin right now. If you notice back here, we also had a similar low, and in that 5,800 area, that's what you need to be paying attention to, because that's what we're approaching with this momentum. So keep an eye on that. If we break that, as far as what comes next, next stop is going to be straight on 5,000, and then we're just heading down from there. So you need to keep an eye on that. If you're trading the daily chart, keep an eye on the 5,800 support, because that is exactly what everyone's going to be looking at. And if we can reach these oversold levels of below 26, that looks like a pretty golden opportunity, but below 27 is probably when I'd look to start scaling in small size on the daily chart. And if you're trading for that, that's just what you need to keep a lookout for. So what I anticipate here will happen over the next few hours, honestly, given the hourly chart, I'm starting to think what's going to happen is we're going to continue to see a little bit of a sell-off. We might, go horizontal a little bit and then sort of plateau and then break lower. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. Just make sure you're being careful and you're being patient and timing your long entries accordingly. Don't rush into that. If you see all the people who rushed into this thinking we're about to go to the moon, look where they're at now. They're feeling pretty bad off that reject. There's actually someone in the comments who commented about selling off into the he sold at 6,800. And then we actually bounced to 72. He was like, "Oh no, I should buy back in." And I said, "Hey man, listen, don't do it. Don't FOMO in. The $200, a $200 rip on Bitcoin really doesn't mean anything." And that was just early yesterday. And now look where we're at now. So he's pretty glad he sold. He can pick up Bitcoin lower. So that's really all I have for you here today, guys. Just be careful moving forward. Pay attention to those RSI levels, and I will see you again tomorrow. Remember, again, on BotMentality, trade like a machine.